Meantime, President Biden has spoken to Ukrainian President Zelensky about the attack on the nuclear plant. His administration is also cracking down on Russian President Vladimir Putin and Russian oligarchs. Ed O'Keefe is at the White House with more on all of these, including the new sanctions. Ed, good morning.
Anne-Marie, just a week into this conflict, the Biden administration now targeting some of the world's richest people with ties to Russian President Vladimir Putin. And there's one lawmaker who says the Russian people need to take matters into their own hands and take out Putin.
Is there Brutus in Russia? Is there a more successful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military? The only way this ends, my friend, is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out.
South Carolina Republican Senator Lindsey Graham not mincing words Thursday night, speaking out about what he thinks it's going to take to stop Russian President Vladimir Putin. Meantime, some of Russia's wealthiest oligarchs and their families are being cut off from the U.S. banking and their assets. Among those on the target list, Vladimir Putin's press secretary, Dmitry Peskov, Alisha Usmanov, one of Russia's richest men who owns one of the country's largest private jets, and Sergei Chemezov, a friend of Putin's from their KGB days. More than a dozen other oligarchs and their families also face visa restrictions.
Our interest is in maintaining the strongest unified economic impact campaign on Putin in all history.
The crisis in Ukraine is causing a spike in gas prices around the world. It's up an average of 22 cents across the nation since just Monday. Still, the White House is under increasing and notably bipartisan pressure to ban imports of Russian oil.
I'm all for that. Ban it.
Ban the oil.
Ban the oil come from Russia. Yep.
Nancy Pelosi is with us, which made me wonder, what am I doing? She's right.
The White House says not so fast, noting just 3% of the nation's oil imports come from Russia.
We don't have a strategic interest in reducing the global supply of energy.
The Biden administration is also addressing the growing refugee crisis, announcing some 75,000 Ukrainians in the U.S. as of Tuesday can now stay an additional 18 months. Today, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is also in Europe, meeting with NATO allies as the diplomacy continues. And later today, Finland's president is here at the White House meeting with President Biden. That's notable because Finland historically has been a neutral European country, unless it wants, to avoid upsetting its next-door neighbor, Russia. But a poll there just this week now finds a majority of Finland's residents believe it should join the military alliance, a sign, guys, of just how quickly the politics, the geopolitics of Europe are transforming as this crisis continues.
Yeah, every day brings new developments, and because of Russia's aggression, as you know, the president had a call with the Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky, about that fire at that large power plant, the nuclear power plant that Russia attacked. And I'm sure, obviously, they talked about a wide range of issues. President Zelensky keeps asking NATO and the United States to establish a no-fly zone, or to at least provide them with aircraft and more arms than we're already providing. And you're starting to see, I think, in Washington, there has been, Ed, as you know, sort of bipartisan support for what the president has been doing. There have been some calls to outright ban Russian imports. But what are you hearing about a change in military strategy that may or may not happen?
Well, look, a few things. Obviously, the defense secretary, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff are traveling in Europe as well to touch base with European allies as we deploy or move around thousands of U.S. forces and get them closer to the front lines there. But there's been no suggestion by the White House, by senior lawmakers, that there needs to be direct military engagement with Russia on this. And there's an understanding among those who understand this conflict most directly that doing something regarding a no-fly zone, enforcing one, establishing one, would potentially put U.S. military aircraft in direct conflict with Russian military aircraft. And you don't want two nuclear powers going at it right now over the skies of Ukraine, given how quickly and how dastardly Russia is moving into Ukraine. So there's been no suggestion that that's going to change at all. What you have seen is the billions of dollars in military aid and equipment being sent in, not only by the United States, but other NATO powers, anti-missile, anti-tank weaponry, and other equipment that is going to make its way there in the coming weeks. That's what Ukraine really needs if it has to continue conducting this itself.
I'm going to ask you about some non-Ukraine news. The February jobs report came out this morning. The U.S. added 678,000 jobs. Unemployment is slightly down as well. Has the White House said anything about these new numbers?
Not quite yet, but they will be saying something about this later today at an event with the head of Siemens. The technology company is going to be investing $54 million to support the production of electrical equipment products and plans to create about 300 new jobs to create that equipment. The electric manufacturing company, another example of the president's push for Buy America or Make It in America, especially for the manufacturing sector. The other thing that's interesting that they're going to announce is that they're raising what's called the domestic content threshold on Buy American products. You might think, what does that mean? That means that when the federal government goes out and has this Buy America provision, that they have to buy American-made goods, only about 55% of the actual product has to have been made in the United States right now. What the president's going to announce is that he's raising that over the next 7 years to 75%. So by 2029, 75% of any good, any vehicle, appliance, television, what have you, that the United States government has to purchase, and it is one of the world's largest customers, 75% of it has to be made here in the United States. That shows, again, the sort of push by this administration to increase domestic manufacturing, bolster American companies, and adjust to the realities of the global supply chain that we've seen over the last several years that just shows that disruptions, be it the pandemic or this ongoing conflict in Eastern Europe, can really have an effect on our ability to buy goods and services.
Yeah, I mean, the White House will certainly be happy with that jobs report. 678,000 jobs added. 90% of jobs are back from the pandemic. But as you all know, Emery and Ed, wages are not keeping up with inflation. Wage growth is at about 5.1%. And inflation is at 7.5%. So,
and real quick, I found one little nugget in the data. Somebody on Twitter flagged this for me. About 9,000 jobs created at dry cleaners across the country in the last month or so, which is a sign that as people go back to work, they got to get the threads cleaned.
Yeah.
And so there's more demand at the dry cleaner than there
that
has
is a
been over the last
fascinating
2
No
years.
more living in
Isn't
sweatpants.
that interesting?
that is very interesting.
No
Wow.
more living in sweatpants,
No,
right?
I know. You can't see below this desk.
Ed, that's fascinating. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ed.
Take care.